In this video I'm gonna try to make a board out of an old construction foam piece. It's roof insulation that was left over from a construction site and would be thrown in the trash, so I saved it. Now let's try to turn it into a nice surfboard. I'm starting this project by gluing the two halves of the foam together. I'm using a 2-part PU foam that hardens quite fast. I tried to cut the rocker with the homemade hot wire, but this foam isn't suited for that. So I went to the hardware store and bought this saw. It's called a string saw or something. It's used to cut PVC pipes in tight spaces. It turned out it wasn't suited for this job. The wire didn't track straight and that created some weird bends in the cut. So after a lot of off-camera frustration, I completed the rocker with the hand saw. A lot of work. Now I'm cutting it in half and preparing it for some signature carbon stringers. I have to clean up the blank before starting the shaping process. During this process I try to leave as much foam in the board because it's very small, and because of the rocker failure it's also a little bit thinner than I hoped. So I'm trying to keep as much foam in the middle of the board as possible. I took some inspiration from a picture on Pinterest. I made a deep concave in the tail to help the water flow fast and release quickly at the tail for maximum speed in the board. I'm preparing the board for a first layer of fiberglass. This is my first time doing a resin swirl. I'm using blue and white as contrasting colors to create the look of an underwater world on the board. In this shot you can definitely see how small the board is. I'm also pretty happy with my first time doing a resin swirl. Because this board is a little bit of a test because of the strange foam, I'm trying a resin swirl on the bottom as well to get comfortable with the resin swirling technique. It's pretty funny with the epoxy and the fiberglass because the first color that hits the fiberglass attaches to the fiberglass. No matter how many times another color runs over it, it stays the first color. You can see it very clearly here in the concave area. I'm adding my logo to this board. I'm installing a leash plug and some fin boxes. I'm sanding out all the imperfections in the fiberglass. I thought I was almost done with this board, but it turns out the combination of the foam or the use of a lot of pigment in the epoxy makes it really soft. I can really feel the foam denting when I'm pressing it even lightly. So I've decided to put another layer of glass fiber around both sides of the board. After I did the fiberglass on both sides, it's time for a hot coat. After hot coating both sides of the board, it's time to sand it one last time. I'm sanding with 400 grit because the surface is already pretty smooth. I've decided to finish the board with a coat of paint. This is some 2K clear paint with a high gloss finish. I choose for this type of finish because an extra layer of epoxy adds too much weight to this board. It's already heavy because it has an extra layer of fiberglass. I was a little bit too impatient while painting. I turned the board over too soon. So there are a few marks from the wreck in the paint. So I have to sand that out and then do the whole board with 2500 grit to finish it off and make it all smooth. Let's go! And I'm finishing this board with a bit of polishing. I think the board looks pretty nice. It's very shiny because of the paint in the end. I think the outline looks great and the concave in the tail looks very aggressive. I'm a little bit worried about the low rocker, but maybe because the board is so short it doesn't matter and it won't catch the nose. And now we have to find out how it serves. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.